Hey, hey, who's here? I saw somebody pop on. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we are going to color Cake is Life. Now, the reason I'm coloring this guy is mainly because there aren't very many of him left. And so, if you would like to adopt this sweet little dude, time is running out. He is so cute. My stamp set has been completely used and abused because I love him so much. But, oops. Again, I have another one of these backgrounds from when I was making my niece's baby shower cards. So we're going to color this dude blue. And it should be fun because I have just finished cleaning and refilling all of my markers. Well, not all of them. I'm in the Ys. So I have YR, R, RV, V, and BV left. Hey, Linda Lou. So, yeah. 45, 41. I want something. I'm going to look at my sheet here. I'm going to do 45, 23, 21. And then I'm going to grab my pencils. What are you doing today, Linda Lou? Looks like it's you and me again. Okay, so I'm going to start with 45, and I'm actually going to start by cutting this paper down some. Because it's just too big to work with. All right. Where do I want to start? I think I'm going to start down here. This is Sweet Sentiment craft paper. It's really fun to color on because it's Copic friendly. I am like not going to know how to use my markers now that they're all full and clean, and I'm going to have to learn how to color all over again. Anybody doing anything fun this Sunday? Linda, you should text your daughter. Tell her that I'm on. Because yesterday she was like, oh my gosh, I missed your live. Okay. There we go. It has been quite the endeavor to clean and fill my markers because I am a bad child and have not been keeping up on my marker maintenance. And so please don't do like me. Otherwise it will take you days like it has taken me. Like literal days. Oh, you texted her? Maybe she'll pop on and say hi. Thanks. Yep. I'm gonna pop over and turn off my 3D printer because it is done printing its project. And we're gonna continue coloring this little dude. Craft paper is very odd to color light colors on because the wetness of the ink turns the paper dark, so you feel like you've totally ruined it until the alcohol evaporates. And then you realize you have indeed not ruined it. But it takes a little bit of getting used to. But the outcome is so cool. So, so neat. Okay, so now I'm gonna finish coloring this in, leaving the highlights. You'll see, especially on his stomach, you'll see how this turns it all super dark. And then once that alcohol evaporates, it will go back to being super light. And then once all of that dries, once I'm done, I'm gonna pull in my pencil for some highlights. So back to our shadow color. Oh, my markers work so much better. It's crazy. There we go. I see some people popping on. If you could say hello, that would be awesome. I'm coloring this cute blue little monster. He's from our set Cake is Life. We only have a couple of this image left. And then he will be retired. So I'm coloring him now so that you guys can see. I love him. He can be anything you want him to be. I've seen people that think he's a dog, people that think he's a bunny rabbit, people that think he's an alien. Like, there's just so many things he could be. Elizabeth! Hey, hey! Fancy meeting you here. So, what do you see him as? Linda and Elizabeth, what do y'all see? Do you see him as a monster? An alien? A dog? A bunny rabbit? Or something else entirely? It's not limited to those. A dog. Like a chihuahua with its eyes all bulged out. An alien named Stitched. That's right. For sure. Okay. Now to color this super duper big head of his. Underneath these big old eyeballs. He's just so fun to color. I love this guy. I don't know why, but from the moment I saw him, like, it was just love. Love, love, love this guy. Maybe because he does resemble a certain little alien that I love too. I never even really thought about that. Okay, I think that's all I'm going to use for this dark blue. Maybe. Okay. I know. I was just eating a caramel that I found in my desk from Sandy. She, at Christmas, bought me dark chocolate caramels, or caramels, however you like to say it, from Buc-ee's, because they are my absolute favorite. And I've been saving them. I've been hoarding them because I don't live anywhere near a Buc-ee's. And it's a good darn thing, too. I've been contemplating making cookies, but it's kind of tough to make cookies when you've been stuck cleaning and refilling your markers for the entire weekend. Don't get me wrong. Glad I'm doing it, because let me tell you, even just doing this, I could tell you my markers work so much better. But it's obviously not a preferred task because I have put it off for so long that you can tell it's not something I've been wanting to do. But now that I've done it and I'm almost there, I feel so much better about myself for doing it. So I even put washi on all of my caps so I know which cap goes on which end, which is very important. And I figure since it's something I teach in my classes, I should probably make sure that all of mine are in compliance with what I teach in my classes. It is very difficult to color on craft and felt like such a big job, plus I had not enough refills that I gave up. I mean, I resemble that comment. Yeah. But then Sandy comes over and she's like, you need to fix these. These are bad. And then I feel super guilty. I mean, theoretically, I'm supposed to be a professional, right? Theoretically speaking. But look at how much better they work. When they're all clean and filled and proper. They just work a lot better. So, I'll let you draw off of that what you want. Okay, so I think we have all the blue done. Now we're gonna go into some pinks for his mouth and his tongue and all that stuff. I left the birthday candle off of his cake. They do work better, you are correct. I was doing a few color batches at a time, but every once in a while, like, I think I'm gonna do the few color batches and then I like don't. So, it's important for me to like just go full Monty and do all the things. So, that's what I finally decided to do. It does take a lot of energy. You are not wrong. So don't let yours get as bad as mine. Sandy always talks about doing like a quarterly cleaning, and I think that's just the rule I'm gonna live by now. Is I'm just gonna go in quarterly and clean them because it's a lot less to do. You don't have as many to fill. You know, there's like all the things. And I think that that's where my problem lies, is because there was just so many to deal with that needed cleaned and filled and that were sticky or tacky, needed a new nib. I still had some of my markers that had the old bullet nib on them, which one day I had decided that I wanted bullet nibs on the ends of my markers. And so I took off a whole bunch of the chisel nibs and replaced them with bullet nibs. We're talking like a couple hundred of them. By a whole bunch, I mean like a couple hundred of them. And then I very quickly regretted that decision because the bullet nibs are just awful. They just don't work as well. They're not what they're cracked up to be. And I used them a few times and then realized it was like a move in the wrong direction. So with that being said, I switched back to the chisel nibs. So, if anybody is ever contemplating switching to the bullet nibs, I will wholeheartedly tell you that that is not a good idea. It seems like a good idea, but it is not. It just changes the way the marker functions. It changes the weight and how you color. It changes so much. And the bullet nibs just don't, they just don't do it. So hard pass on the bullet nibs. So they are all changed back. Oh, this little dude's so cute. Okay, so now his tongue, I'm gonna make it, what color am I gonna make it? I'm gonna start with RB69. I feel like as an alien, he doesn't necessarily have to have the right color of tongue. And we're gonna go RB66. And then I'm going to use my colorless blender and just add a couple of highlights. The only one I left a bullet nib on is this one. And that's because I have several colorless blenders. So there you go. Okay, now I'm going to color the inside of his ear, and I'm going to go much lighter pink. I'm going to start with RB04. RB02. And RB00. Okay. Now I am going to color his nose black. So I'm going to go to my W's. I'm going to start with W10. You guys are being awfully quiet out there. I'll go to W8. And then we're going to do W6, if I can find it. There it is. All right. I'm going to save his eye until later. I will tell you one of the biggest tips when you're sharpening pencils is spin your pencil sharpener, not your pencil. You will get less broken tips that way. You're watching me bring him to life. Okay. So now I'm going to color the fork. And I like to use, well, I already used B41, so I'm going to use B41. I like to put blue underneath the gray for the fork because it makes it look more metallic when you color it. Okay, and then I'm going to go for my C's. I'm going to start with C5 because I don't want this to be super duper dark. So where it connects and goes into the cake on that tine, those are all going to have a little bit of shadow. Where the tines connect to the fork itself, there, at the neck of the utensil, there, underneath his hand or his fingers, and I might just leave a tiny shadow above his fingers. Like that. Okay. Then I'm going to go to C3. Elongate those shadows just a little bit. Bring a shadow across the neck of the utensil. And don't forget down here on the handle. And then I'm going to use C1. I love coloring on this craft because it helps me to be able to create those soft pastels that I haven't normally been able to create in any other way. So that makes me happy. I'm going to grab, I'm pretty sure in here, yep, I have a silver pencil. This is a polychromo. They are my favorite kind of pencils. And I'm just going to come in here a little bit, not all the way into the shadow, and using circular motions, I'm going to add really light pressure, maybe like 30% pressure out of 100, just to add a little bit of metallic to his fork. Again, small circles. That's pretty cool. Okay. This is my favorite white pencil. I love it. It makes me happy. Okay. So For his teeth, they're going to be colored white. Again, small circles. Layer number 1. Okay, now what I want to do, because he has 2 teeth here, is I want to very lightly outline his teeth. And I'm doing this between my layers of white, because if the white goes over this, you will still be able to see it through. And I don't want, like, bam, in your face. So with this layer of white, I'm going to do about 50% pressure, because I really want to fill those in. Okay. Thanks, Linda Lou. Now his eyeball. I think I'm going to make him go ahead and have blue eyes because, I mean, why not? We're already halfway there, right? So I'm going to grab out a couple of extra markers that I need. I need 15. Okay, so whenever you're doing eyes, and I've taught this many, many a time, is you still want to have that dark and medium and light. I'm actually going to throw a brown in here just for funsies. So dark, medium, light, and then you have your bridge colors. So this color is lighter than this color but darker than this color, and this color is lighter than this color but darker than this color. And I have taught this same way of doing eyes for many, many, many moons. So I'm going to just pick a spot where I think this pupil would be, and since his eye is like this fun wonky oval shape, I'm gonna make his pupil a fun wonky oval shape too. Okay, and I'm adding those little brush strokes out from the center of where his eye, or where his pupil would be. My second marker, I'm gonna do essentially the same thing, just adding different tones, because they will wash out differently. Now the brown, I'm going to essentially trace the iris. Really light, and I'm going to go from the outside towards the inside. Just like that. Then with my yellow, I'm going to go around and oversaturate that just a little bit. And then I'm going to grab my green and I'm going to go all the way to where that brown line is that I traced his pupil. Now this will create a lot of texture in the eyes, but you may have noticed that I might have actually washed some of that texture out. So I'm going to come in with a second coat of my darkest color. I'm going to put a little bit more of that yellow in the center. And then I'm going to wash it out with that green again. Not too much, but just a little bit. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is grab my multi-liner. This one is 0.1, so it's a fairly large tip. And add that pupil in there. Now, with this, I'm gonna grab a gray colored pencil. This is the one I want. That is warm. I like to use cool gray in the eyes because it gives it a little bit of a blue tinge. This is Cold Gray 5. Where's my pencil sharpener? There it is. Again, spin the pencil sharpener, not the pencil. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it is very windy here. Okay, I'm going to come in off of the corner of the eye, or the back part of the eye. And I'm going to add a little bit of a shadow. And I chose this color because it's almost the same color as the outline. Again, circular motions. Nearly no pressure. Just let gravity do its thing. Okay, I'm going to go back to my white pencil. Small circles all the way around. Again, next to no pressure. Just letting gravity do its thing. Okay. I'm gonna go back to this pencil. And then what I'm going to do, he has these two like hairs sticking out here. I'm going to go ahead and put those in because I think they're funny. I'm going to go back to my white pencil. I'm going to do about 50% pressure. I'm going to go over the edge of that gray line just a little bit to kind of marry those colors together. Okay. And then to really drive this iris home, I'm going to, oh, you can't hear the wind? It's really windy here. I'm going to outline it with this black. Okay. Put a touch more of this green there. All right. Now, I am going to use my white gel pen on this because I want this dot to really be striking. So a little white gel pen here. Highlight there. There we go. Now his eyes look very glassy. Milligan! Hey! So there's that. I'm also going to put some texture into his ear. Again, like no pressure. I want to be able to see that pink through this. So I'm just doing really light. I'm going to go ahead and add a highlight here. Going to add a highlight to his belly, leg. Okay, now he looks all shiny. Okay, so then we're gonna color his cake. And I think he's going to have chocolate cake. Feel like it's a chocolate cake kind of guy. So I'm gonna start with E79. And I'm going to use the stipling technique that you guys see me use so much because cake has so much texture. And if I use the stipling technique, then some of that texture will read through. Milligan, what are you doing this weekend? What's going on, my friend? I'm glad the peanut gallery's here. Everybody that's here is quiet. They're all concentrating, watching me color. All right. I'm still working on cleaning markers. It's a thing. So 79 was cashew and 59 is walnut. Apparently this is a nutty cake. Sounds like one of those, you know, crazy cakes that like the raw foods people make. I know because my other mother was a raw foods chef. She made me a cheesecake out of cashews that, I'm not gonna lie, was one of the best cheesecakes I've ever had in my whole life. It was rich and creamy and oh my god, it was so good. But she gave me the recipe for it, but I've never made it. But it was all raw. It was all vegan, raw, whatever. And you would never, ever know it. I mean, never. There's Sandy. Just got back from Jersey Mike's. 2 medium sandwiches and 2 bags of chips. $36.60. Holy crikeys. That's insane. Man. I know. The cost of everything has just gone up so much. It makes me want to cry. I mean, craft supplies cost more. Gas costs more. Notice I started with craft supplies. Coffee costs more. Oh no, you're fighting a migraine? That's yucky. we're gonna go to E27, which is milk chocolate. Because of course you need some milk chocolate in your cake. I don't want to go anywhere today. I want to finish filling these markers and be done. I have so many left. I feel like it's this never-ending process. I will not be waiting this long again to be doing this. I know I always say that, and reality is I probably will wait this long again. But I really want to get on like a quarterly schedule with the filling of the markers. So, and it's really not good for your markers to leave them like that anyways. So, my bestie probably has a weather migraine. She gets them a lot when the barometric pressure changes quickly. All right. There we go. Some nice textured chocolate cake. And then I kind of want to do like red icing because Valentine's. But then I sort of want to do white icing to balance it out. So, yep, weather. Oh no. Peppermint oil, babe. Do you have your peppermint oil? Okay, so we're gonna do Y32 is cashmere. And I did not have to fill this marker, so that means I like never use this marker. So that's why we're gonna use it. Because I noticed some markers get no love. So we're gonna fix that this year. I'm gonna be giving some love to those markers that get no love. Ah, Archie's choking on something. Oh my gosh. Somebody must be out walking their dog. Yep. So of course he has to go bark. This is my neighborhood. You're not allowed to walk in my neighborhood. Okay. I'm just making this slightly yellow because I want it to read as like a buttercream. So I'm making it just kind of a tinge yellow. And that's where we're going with that. Yeah, Christina Renner gave it for me. Is there a divot? Jamie, look at that divot in your yellow marker on the chisel end. I don't see a divot on this. Is it this one? Nope. It must have just looked like it. Oh, right here. Right here. They're in all the markers. That's where they pull them out of the molds. She said on the chisel end. Yeah, they're in on all the markers. That's where they pull them out of the molds with the plastic. I know. I did my nails, Michelle. Thank you for noticing. And I did them, and then I was filling all the markers, and I ruined one. Okay. So now I have that, which is the basis of my frosting. I'm going to come in with a soft peach. For my shadow. And then we're going to hit it with the white. Sandy, I feel for you. I see how some on the forehead helps until the meds kick in. Yes, you just got lucky, Holly. I know, right? Now I want cake. Hi, pal. I did not even see you sneak in here. Super stealthy. Again, not a lot of pressure. Probably about 30%. Your brain automatically wants to pick up a pencil and write with it, because that's what you've been trained to do your whole life. So resist the urge. You don't want writing pressure. You want a little bit less than writing pressure, because you want those colors underneath to shine through. Again, always work with a sharp pencil and use the pencil sharpener. Spin the pencil sharpener, not the pencil. That's what will give you a nice sharp tip on your pencil. Always working in small circles for the best coverage. Okay, I'm gonna grab my black and just add a couple little suggestions. Because this light ink on the paper will kind of make you lose some of your lines. So I just like to go back in and on some of those lines, just add them back in. There, just like that. Okay, so let me throw some of these pencils back in here and scoot some of these aside. I'll zoom out for y'all. A ton of markers everywhere. Okay, so we're gonna put him on this blue background. And I think behind the blue background, we're gonna put this bright pink that says I love you. Just a little hint of it. but that'll bring in the pink from the little dude. So we're gonna do that. And first things first, I am going to grab my die. Now I know this die isn't gonna work properly because it has the candle. I'm just gonna cut everything else out but the candle, and I can hand cut the candle off. So even if you modify your stamps, you can still use the die. You just have to make sure it's the right, you know, modifications that you've made that'll still make that die work. I'm doing this and then I realize I don't have any tape out. Lining it up all perfect and then there's no tape. Okay. I've never been very good at the like pastel-y type things, so coloring on this craft cardstock is really helping me with that. Don't forget, you guys, that we have our Sweet Sentiment t-shirts, tank tops, and sweatshirts on sale right now through February 7th. They're for pre-order right now. So hop onto the website, place your order. Okay. Yes, there's my RG. So we're going to grab our scissors. We're going to do a few modifications to this. First things first, we're going to get rid of that candle. Perfect. Second thing, all of this inside here makes me absolutely cray-cray. So I cut a little hole. I insert my scissors. Maybe. There we go. What's your pet peeve? What is your one crafty pet peeve? That is mine. White space in between, like where things should be cut out. It is such a crafty pet peeve of mine. Anybody else? Nobody else is willing to say what their crafty pet peeve is? No, it wasn't until I brought it to her attention, and then it started making her crazy too. I'm even more maniacal about it than she is. But I kind of created a monster and made her maniacal about it. It just looks so much better when that's cut out. Okay, so now I need to pull out my trimmer. And so an A2 card is 5.5 by 4.25. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut a quarter of an inch off of each of these panels. But since I centered the stencil, I gotta cut 1/8 of an inch off of each side. So that's why I'm cutting off of each side. Oh, she's walking her dog like directly in front of our house. Heaven forbid. Okay. When I come into craft and my desk is already messy. Oh, Milligan. You make me laugh. Yeah, I could see that as being a big crafty pet peeve. That's a huge one. Huge. Epic. I think Holly has the same pet peeve. All right. So, you guys notice I got my corner rounder out. Oh my gosh, he's going to be so cute. Can't even wait. So, with my corner rounder, let's see where we're at. Put this here. Put this here. Forgive me. I actually think I want them vertical. Oh, then this isn't going the right way. Dang it, dang it, dang it. So we're going to rethink. We're going to round this corner, around this corner. I think I've used this thing to its death. Yes. When I can't find something I literally just had. Thanks, Linda. Okay, so to make this guy pop out more, I am going to kind of use his outline here. And I'm going to line it up. I don't need to do it on the card. Okay, so I want him kind of like that. So I'm going to use this like that. I'm going to grab my brush. I'm going to use ground espresso today. I cannot live without my ink holder, let me tell you. Something so simple, like, is the whole world. Because see, my ink, if I don't have my ink in it, it slides all around. If I put my ink in it, it stays right there. So I'm going to make it darker behind him. I know that there's the candle there. I'm not really concerned about it. You're not really going to notice. Because I'm going to take this mask off and see how it has his shadow. I'm going to kind of go a little bit more around it. I just wanted the general area of where he was going so I could leave a shadow around it. Y'all, if you don't have these ink holders yet, I don't know how you're even living. I can't even put it into words. We have purple, pink, teal, white, and black. Okay, now it looks like I totally ruined that because I put a big old blob right in the middle of it. But it's okay. And actually, while I'm here, you guys know me, I'm going to distress the outside too. Yep, I am that girl. 99% of the time I work on glass, Milligan. Because I tend to be a germaphobe and a clean freak. And my glass is very easy to clean up and very easy to sanitize. And so that is why I'm pretty much always working on glass. Because if you notice, like between projects and stuff, or between whatever I'm doing, I tend to clean up. It's just the way I am hardwired here. So, good question. I have a wobble. Does the ink holder only? No. I have a wooden desk and it works on top of my wooden desk. It works on paper. If you have one of those paper desk mats, it works super well on that. Yeah, so it works on all different kinds of surfaces. Good question. Good question. I like it. Okay, so I have this little dude. See how much more he pops out when you put him on that color. Now I want to make a sentiment strip. And since the back of this paper is white, I think I'm going to use white. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to cut this. And then I'm going to see what sentiment will fit on it. I think this one's gonna work. Yes. Okay. Now, also, I am going to emboss this sentiment because I'm doing everything with blues. I believe I have some navy embossing powder that I think will look amazing on this. So, what I like to do is line up my magnets so that I can get this perfectly centered. And it drops right in there. Okay. Hold please while I get my embossing ink. That one's green. This one's called In the Navy. I am addicted to WOW embossing powders. They're just the best that's out there. I'm going to do this twice. I forgot to grab a piece of paper. So we're going to use this paper that was a reject of one of our signs. I always tap the paper so I can get all of the embossing powder to settle in. And then if you happen to miss any places, you can always come back. Okay. Now, before I ruin my entire life, hey, Tiffany. Okay. Then with this, I'm going to go ahead and use my magnets to hold it down. With your embossing gun, you always want to heat it up a little bit before you actually emboss. I'm going to warm it up. There's one piece of embossing. There we go. And if you want super smooth embossing, then simply flip it over, emboss from the back. You can't leave it on your mat because it will stick. And that will smooth out any of those bumps. Super cool, right? Okay, now I'm going to hit the edges of this with that brown just ever so slightly. Notice I'm not dipping in the ink again, just using the residual ink. Okay, throw my magnets away. Now it's time to assemble our card. All right. There we go. Oh my gosh, I'm like all thumbs today. Okay. And today I can stamp my card this direction, because yesterday I totally stamped it in the wrong direction. But y'all didn't see that, right? I have a blue pen. I do need more coffee, Carol. You are absolutely correct. That's a long time. For what, embossing? No. Oh my gosh, now I stamped it upside down. I suck at life. Yes, that sentiment does come with the stamp set. Look at that, you guys. Jammie Originals. I mean, what are you going to do? Okay. So then I put the wobble, the Sweet Spring, I put the white part on the back of the critter. I like to add a little bit of glue because usually when you're wobbling something, you really get with it. So there we go. I know, right, Elizabeth? All of us card makers do that. Yesterday, my card I did sideways too. This was my card yesterday, and I stamped it sideways. Because in my defense, I was going to make it this orientation, but I didn't. So, yeah. It's fine. It's fine. We're fine. Everybody's fine. So, sometimes you just get on a roll and you stamp them all the wrong way. Okay. So then the clear part goes on the card. And again, I like to put a little bit of glue on there. I'm going to center this little guy up. And then the easiest thing to do is take your espresso and put nice even pressure. It's kind of cool sideways. I mean, worst case scenario, you can just, you know, pull the card front off, but whatevs. Okay, now my sentiment strip, I'm actually going to use some Sweet Pops, go figure. I actually have a couple sitting right here, so I'm probably going to use those. Oh, that's a baby one. Man, it's windy outside. I do my best creating when it's stormy, just so y'all know. When it's like snowing and raining and wind is blowing and the weather's super crappy, I turn off all electronics and I just sit here and craft, and I make my best projects. I like it up here. Okay. Now we need dots. My name is Jammie. Hello, Jammie. So I have navy blue and aqua and light blue. I think I'm going to use the navy blue and the light blue though, because I think they're pretty together. Ooh, and then I have royal blue. So many dots. My name is Jammie and I use way too many dots. Oh, I have white too. What are we going to do, guys? Okay, so blue. blue, blue, green. Milligan. Yay! Put my glittery box back, dots back in my glittery dots box. And yes, I do have these labeled. This is glittery dots. And there you go, guys. I mean, I could always add a bow, but I don't think he needs a bow. I know, weird, right? Just really don't think he needs a bow. I don't think he's a bow kind of guy. So there it is. There's our fun, wobbly birthday card. And yesterday there was our magic bean card. So, you guys, my new kind of obsession is doing stamp mashups. So just like this, where I use fairy smiles and magic potion, I would love for some, yeah, right, Milligan? Nope. I would love for some suggestions for stamp mashups. So let me know what you would like to see me use together, and I'll do my best to try to make that happen. So leave a comment or whatever it is. The best way to do it, send me a DM, whatever you think. And I'll try to do some stamp mashups for you guys next weekend. Until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. The coffee sentiment is actually from the Magic Potion set. It's on the set. So anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. I hope Monday is kind to you. And I will see y'all next weekend. Don't forget to tune in for Sandy's lives. She does Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night at 9:30 Central. I've been doing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 2 p.m. Because that seems to be what's working best right now. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 3 p.m. Central. And I'm going to go clean up my desk because I have markers everywhere. And I'm going to post this video on YouTube for y'all. And then I think it's time for a glass of wine. So yeah, that's a thing. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me for the blue weekend. I've gone through my blue phase, so maybe we'll pick another color next weekend. But I really want to do more of the stamp mashups, so let me know your ideas. And I will see you next week. Toodles!